Have you ever seen those people in life? They go around blaming other people for things that go wrong in their life. But if you really think about it, people who go about life blaming other people for things that's going wrong in their life, they never take accountability nor responsibility for their own actions. See, I noticed in my life, most of the things that people blame other people for really ain't that other person's fault. It's the person's fault who is doing the blaming. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be going through a few examples, including examples of things that I used to do when I was coming up, and then a few current examples that I've actually been seeing in my life here recently. If you want to learn how not to blame other people for your problems, stay tuned to the end of this episode. Let's discuss why blaming other people for your problems is not the right thing to do. When you get to blaming other people in life for the things that you know that you can be doing better, when you get to try to blame your mom, your dad, your cousin, your wife, your baby mama, your baby daddy, or whoever in life it is, once you get to try to blaming other people for your issues in life, what that basically means is that means that you don't necessarily at the moment have a lot of character. And then what that means is that you like pushing responsibility from yourself on to other people. And see, in life, you need to make sure to always accept accountability and responsibility for your actions. Stop trying to always push things off to somebody else. Like, stop kicking the can down the road to let this other person pick up the can. Why don't you bend down and take the time and take the effort to pick up the can? See, that's the reason why it's very important, because once you take accountability and accept responsibility for the things that you do in life, I guarantee you your life is going to go a whole lot smoother. Life rewards those who are accountable. Life rewards those who accept responsibility. I'm not saying that you won't be rewarded if you aren't accountable and if you're not responsible. I'm not implying that, but I noticed in my own personal life that life goes a little bit further for that person who takes the additional step in life to make things right. So you may not agree with this, and that's all right. So we can agree to disagree, because I know that once you get to blaming other people in life, then your whole life will be a blame game. It'll always be a finger pointing game. It'll never be a proper resolution that's given, because the blame game is always being played. Once you stop blaming other people, once you stop pointing the finger at other people and start reversing that finger and start pointing that finger back at yourself, that's when your life is going to start really elevating up in the right direction. And that's when life is really going to start rewarding you with more of the things you want and need, because life is seeing that you are taking responsibility and that you're taking accountability. One thing I noticed in my life here is that if something goes wrong, people are always quick to blame the other person. So, for example, let's just say if you're going down the road and then you get a speeding ticket. You ask the police, you're like, hey officer, what did I do wrong? The police is like, well, you was going 75 in a 45. And then you be like, well, the person behind me, officer, he was tailgating me. The police gonna look at you like, sir, they didn't make you go faster. You're in control of your car. See how that person tried to play the blame game and tried to blame the man behind him for tailgating him, and he thought that that would get him out of in this speeding ticket? That's not how it works. Now, let's run that scenario right back. Now, let's just say if the police pulled you over and then said, hey, here you go $10,000. I bet you $1,000 out of that 10,000 that you're not going to give credit to the man behind you for making you go faster, and they got you pulled over to accept this gift that this officer gave you. Sometimes people look at things kind of offset in life a little bit because they want things to be the way how they want them to be in life. But see, life doesn't necessarily pan out how you want it to be. Life always pans out how it's going to be. You should not be blaming other people for your problems. You should take responsibility. You should say, yes, officer, I was doing 75 and a 55. I was in a hurry. I was late for church. See, when you do things like that, that makes the situation a lot better, and that makes you look like a more positive person. That makes you seem like you have more resilience in life, because people in life, they don't really accept responsibility. They don't really accept accountability except for good things in life. Now, we discussed why blaming other people people in life for your problems is not the right thing to do. So let me discuss the things that I used to do. When I was 13 years old, I dislocated my kneecap and I was playing volleyball on the gym floor. It was like pouring down, raining, and we had a hole in the roof of our gymnasium. So our coach put a bucket up underneath the drip in the roof, and we just kept playing volleyball around the bucket. Somebody had accidentally knocked the bucket over. I wasn't paying attention. So this girl had bumped the ball, and when she bumped the ball, I'm trying to run, and then I hit that spot of water, whoop, and then I landed, dislocated my knee. When I got up, I started blaming my coach. I'm like, Coach, why would you wax the floor when it's raining outside? My coach said, Mr. Reed, why you get mad at me? You the one who was watching these girls over here, Mr. Reed. I was guilty as charged. So when I had bumped the ball, instead of me keeping my eye on the line of sight and what's in front of me, I started looking back and I started running, trying to look cute for these young ladies who was over in the bleachers watching me. It was the coach's fault. Even though everybody knew why I hurt myself, everybody still to this day, if you talk to somebody who went to my middle school and they seen that, they still would tell you the same thing. Man, you wasn't paying attention, Reed. But I had to blame somebody else. Last week, me and my wife went to a doctor's appointment for her. And so as we're sitting inside the waiting room, this lady, her and her daughter, they come running into the doctor's office. So the nurses is looking like, ma'am, like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? So me and my wife, we looking, being nosy. Mom was like, I need to see Dr. Such and Such because Dr. Such and Such was supposed to sign this doctor's note for my daughter right here. I need to see the doctor right now. If you don't let me see the doctor, I need to speak to your supervisor. So me and my wife is sitting there like, uh-oh. So the receptionist was like, ma'am, you can't see the doctor right now because you're not scheduled to see the doctor. The patient was like, I got to be at the airport in 20 minutes. Let me set the scene for you. Me and my wife, we live about 45 minutes away from the BNA Nashville International Airport. Now, on a bad day, that'd be about an hour and a half to get from where me and my wife live at to get down to the Nashville International BNA Airport. This lady here had to be on her flight within 30 minutes. It was no way possible that she was going to make it to the airport in time to go through baggage claim, to go through the whole security checkpoint. She act like she was flying on a private jet. She picks the hissy fit. She started blaming the hospital because she missed her flight for her daughter's violin reception. It was everybody's fault why her and her daughter missed their airplane flight. Why would you come to the doctor's office 30 minutes before your flight if you live 45 minutes away? And so what happened was the lady wound up getting security called on her. So now she got an even longer day because now she got to fill out paperwork because she tried to knock a few things off the desk trying to make a point. So now security is over here talking to her and her daughter. So she just made a situation that just could have been an in and out type of situation. All she had to do was just came in, put her name on the list. She was going to be late for her flight anyway. She should have woke up an hour and a half earlier, came to the doctor's office, already been packed, came to the doctor's office, got the doctor's note, and then go down to the BNA Nashville International Airport. It is so difficult to accept responsibility and accountability. Once you accept responsibility and once you accept accountability, your life will be a whole lot better. If you like this episode so far today, please press that like and subscribe button. One thing that I want to discuss here before we go is going to be don't blame your kids for your problems in life. Now, I'm going to be using one of my good friends here. I'm going to kind of switch the story up a little bit. I want to give you a vivid description of how people blame their kids for the things that go wrong in their life. My friend, him and his wife, they have been married for about 10 to 12 years. They got a really good life. He's very successful. She's very successful. I mean, they're making a boatload of money and they have two wonderful and amazing kids. A few years ago, my friend had wound up going to a business meeting and he had wound up meeting this nice young lady. And then that romantic evening led to a baby being conceived. 9 months later, my friend, he's out living his life. He's doing the things in life that he wants to do. The doorbell at my friend's house rings. Ding, ling, ling, ling. My friend's wife comes to the door. This is such and such's baby right here. My friend's wife is looking like, hold on, who baby is this? Yeah, this is such and such baby. Here you go. Y'all have a great life. The mistress turned around and walked off my friend's front porch. So now my friend comes home from his business meeting. He sees a baby. Whose baby is this? This is your baby. Such and such came by and she said the child had a romantic evening and all of this and all of that. Now my friend, he knows he's caught. So now when he goes out on his business meetings, he can't just go by himself. She has to go. Or either if she can't can't go, she has the app on his phone and he knows it's on his phone. He gotta be tracked at all times. He gotta FaceTime at all times. He can't do nothing on his own anymore. Then when he gets back home, his wife gotta go through his clothes and smell his underwear and make sure he was doing what he was supposed to do. So now my friend, he's basically living a miserable life because he can't do things like he used to do. He can't move a certain way. But the reason why he can't move a certain way is because of the actions that he done. The kids done grew up. Everybody is happy in the house except for one person, my friend. He's pissed. He's walking around fist balled up, mouth tight. Every time I talk to him, I'm like, such and such, why are you mad at your kid? Man, it's my kid's fault. Man, it's my son's fault. I've yet to hear my buddy say, why did I go out and get a mistress? Why did I go out and mess up my family? I got a good wife. Why did I go out and step out in the streets? You see how much easier it was for my friend to blame his son for being born. So my friend is the reason why his son is born. My friend's actions are the reason why his son is born. My friend's actions are the reason why he can't do anything on his own without his wife either being there or either having him highly supervised on these apps and stuff like that. So now my friend, every time I see him, he's talking about how miserable his life is. But up until he faces the fact that he made his life miserable. And I love my friend and I'm not trying to talk about him, but I really wanted to put this last example here about stop blaming your kids. It's not your kids' fault why the things are going on. And I always tell my friend that for the last few years, I've been telling my friend, hey man, look, you need to stop blaming your son because what's going to happen, your son is going to grow up to hate you. Your son is going to have so much animosity and resentment towards you. You can't too much blame him for not wanting to be bothered with you because the way you're treating him a certain way. And then because you're treating him a certain way, he doesn't know why daddy is treating him this certain way. He doesn't know yet that my friend's wife isn't his biological mom. He doesn't know his biological mother is the outside mistress. He's wondering why daddy is so nice to the other two, to his brother and sister over here. But why does he always get kicked in the ass? The little kid is probably sitting back thinking, man, my dad hates me. You know what? I know who ain't gonna be my best man at my wedding. And my friend is wondering why when his son goes to football games, he doesn't want him there. And once my friend can actually take responsibility and take accountability for his actions, I guarantee you his life and his son's relationship would be a whole lot better. And that about wraps it up for today's episode. Until next time, I'll catch you later.